Like, make no mistake, I was strawmanned egregiously on the largest media platform in the history of humanity. It had nothing to do with the debate. Like, it had absolutely nothing to do with the debate.
It looks like I'm the first one to report on this vegan VYC news. It concerns the vegan Nutrivore, Nick. He's not very popular, but he made some waves over the last year. This clip might refresh your memory. I covered one of his debates. Really good at debating and very smart. He brought something unusual to the table. But just yesterday, he said that he was quitting YouTube and basically all social media, where he and Carnivore Camaraderie were trying to set up a debate.
I've told you about nutritional epidemiology and including variables in the adjustment model, and well,
how about this? I mean, we've eaten significantly less meat and less animal products in the past 100 years, and our rates of heart disease, cancer, all chronic diseases that seems to be in it.
So like this just, that are you submitting this as evidence for the hypothesis?
Yeah, I mean, it would be.
But just yesterday, he said that he was quitting YouTube and basically all social media because of something that happened. Yeah, it looks like just a few weeks ago, he got some big temporary fame. It all started when he got a debate with Shawn Baker, which all of us are familiar with, more than the Nutrivore. And after that debate, Shawn Baker, with his connections to Joe Rogan, their meat buddies, Shawn was able to get back on Joe Rogan's show and start bad-mouthing vegan Nutrivore.
Yeah, this is part of the reason why I'm getting off of social media in general, is that it seems to have like some kind of funneling mechanism that attracts sophists and dishonest people and just people who are despicable or otherwise unsavory or what have you. And I just find that my life is better when I'm not engaging with them on such a regular basis. I have pretty much removed most of my socials, and thank you, but you're not subscribing to anything because the YouTube channel isn't a thing anymore. I appreciate it though. I got a taste of what it was like to actually be in the spotlight, I guess you could say. And I didn't care about all of the ostensible criticisms that I was getting. Like, I was getting tons of messages from people saying like, oh, you're a fucking idiot. Oh, you're a retard. Oh, it's that guy who didn't know that a cow was bigger than a chicken. Like, what actually bothered me was my phone became unusable in the days after this all happened. My socials became unusable. I was blocking somewhere around, I mean, it fluctuated, but I would say minimum 200 people a day, and that's just on Twitter or X. On Instagram, I was blocking people like crazy. I was egregiously strawmanned on the largest media platform in the history of humanity. Yeah, and I just don't want to stand for that. Like, I don't want the world thinking that I actually have these views. Like, do they actually think that think about all of the content that I put out. I make formal fucking arguments. I include citations in my blog articles. I don't make outlandish fucking wild claims, right? Like, I just uttered 3 propositions and then got back to the debate. And then on Joe Rogan, what they did was they actually highlighted that section of the debate as if that was representative of the entire conversation or like anything in the conversation. The conversation was actually about something completely different.
So I was watching this and he started reading comments. He started reading my comment. So I paused and hooked up all my equipment to get my live reaction.
So I've missed Nick's lives. It's been a hot while. Oh, you mean my live streams? That was phrased kind of strangely. Rogan doesn't seem to care. He's spreading abuse of humans and animals. And yeah, I mean, I think he's kind of just, I don't know. If I talk shit about him too much, then I might nuke the ability to go on his podcast if such an opportunity is even like on the table. I don't know if it is. I don't know if Joe Rogan has even seen the tweet or the post or whatever.
He had a good reaction there to that comment. He had a bad reaction to a comment I made a few months back. I saved the Nutrivore's comment, but I can't seem to find it. I posted some kind of comment on a video of his, guessing it had something to do with high fruit diet. That's all I can think of, where he would respond to me negatively. Yeah, he's good at debates and general veganism, but he doesn't really know the deeper levels of diet and health. And I think he just made some kind of quick reference to me being a joker or a clown. I did find this in my email. It's not what I remember, but yeah, it had to do with fruit. Maybe he changed his message, but it's still wrong here. He said he agreed with me that humans are primates, but then he said omnivorous primates. For one thing, that's unknowledgeable about the proper human diet. Also, is he a vegan? Yeah, he said he was a vegan in the debate. I guess he's like a unnatural vegan. Yeah, see, there's more problematic stuff here. He's good for general vegan debating, but here, he's stepping out of his area, doesn't even realize, he doesn't even consider he might be wrong. There are some primates who do eat meat, but not enough of it to call themselves omnivores. And also, omnivore doesn't mean meat and plants. Yeah, a lot of people don't even realize omni means everything. That's like a bear. A bear will naturally eat almost anything, while humans are clearly not grain and grass eaters. We're not squirrels. We have no mechanism for opening the shell of nuts. So we're not omnivores. We're very specific in the kind of foods we can eat in nature without tools. And the way he goes overboard with setting out the rules of the debate makes him a problematic vegan. We're going to see that his problematic personality had something to do with this problem he's having now. All right, here we get to the action that happened on the Joe Rogan show.
Like I said, we talked about that debate with the wacko vegan.
Oh my God, that was my favorite one you've
The wacko vegan.
ever done. So I don't know when this took place, but I just discovered
it was recently. It was like 2 weeks ago.
I just discovered it a couple of days.
Yeah, see, at the end of the day, they just want to talk bad about vegans. Smear them, trash them. They pretend to be genuine about their pro-meat position. It's just anti-vegan.
You are debating this guy, and you, by the way, you played this brilliantly. Well,
No, he didn't. If Joe believes that, then he's
Yeah, I have made some videos about Shawn Baker. He's not brilliant. He has some brain problems.
delusional or dumb.
just had this like little smile on your face.
It's delusional or dumb or disingenuous. Take your pick. It's hard to figure out with people these days.
Believes that, then he's delusional or dumb.
Just had this like little smile on your face, and you let him talk. And this guy was saying,
Like, you played this debate beautifully, you had a smile on your face, and you let him talk. Imagine having these things be the things you value about how somebody performs in a debate. Like, did you give any arguments? Did you give any defeaters? Did you run any clever reductios? Did you get your opponent to affirm a contradiction? Like,
That's real easy for us vegans.
you were talking about the animal kingdom. What about the animal kingdom? Like in the he was like, oh, I don't think the animal kingdom should exist.
Right.
I think we should replace it with human infrastructure. He was saying that he thinks that all animal predators and prey, that's all problematic. And we shouldn't have any of that.
that relationship is problematic, yeah. And we can just refer back to this to figure out why.
This is where Nick Nutrivore goes off the rails. He sets himself up for looking foolish. He shouldn't be saying things in a vacuum, which is ironic because you're on social media. You're not in a vacuum here. People are going to take your words and blow them out of proportion if you're not careful.
So he's for eliminating all animal life.
That's not entailed on The View. So now that I've unpacked my views, you guys should know that this is a very clear misrepresentation.
Yeah, but you are expecting too much of the average person and way too much of Joe Rogan.
Yeah, it's kind of bizarre. It's like I was just like, I don't even have to say anything. It's not even a debate. All I got to do is just let you talk for like.
By the way, where's this motherfucker?
That wasn't even.
To say anything. It's not even a debate. All I got to do is just let you talk for like.
By the way, where's this motherfucker?
That wasn't even part of the debate. It was it was something tangential that happened. Like,
No talk about who won the debate. There, Joe and Shawn Baker are just presuming that he won and letting the audience just assume that by the way they're talking.
it had nothing to do with the actual debate itself. Nothing.
And you shouldn't have said it. By the way, I pointed out about a month ago that as far as I know, vegans have won every debate they've been in on YouTube.
I agree, and I go like, oh, holy shit, you're right. Then I'll concede. Nobody's going to be able to do it because it's not.
He said basically, I don't care if you kill billions of creatures to grow avocado.
That's not what I said.
It doesn't matter to me. That's fine. Even if they were, he said, even he went as far as say, even if they were humans you were slaughtering to.
No, like that was an internal critique of people giving an objection to the view, right? So, okay, he led with this critique that vegans kill animals too, and that number's quite high, right? To grow our crops. I think you'd be okay with those deaths even if they were human deaths. This is an internal critique of his position because he was trying to make an ethical argument for his diet being morally superior or morally favorable to my diet due to it entailing fewer deaths. So given the fact that he was talking about
fewer deaths. Once again, I think of my video from 6 years ago saying when vegans focus on the deaths of animals instead of the abuse, we get caught in this trap. And here we are 6 years later.
Kill the cow. That's a rights violation. That's a problem. I'm like, and then he was like,
yeah, and they're laughing about it because they don't understand. Like they literally don't have the cognitive throughput to understand the view because they didn't even ask any like Joe wasn't there, right? So whatever. He's just
but notice he doesn't care that he wasn't there. He just wants to smear the vegan. It reminds me of when Frank Tufano had a debate with Vegan Gains, and then Frank goes on Dr. Berg's channel to smear everything that happened, and both sit there and ridicule Vegan Gains. Same thing. This is what they do.
Frank Tufano is here. I wanted just to talk to someone who's done it for a while, and I think the first thing I want to say is like,
Vegan.
It's amazing that you interviewed that vegan guy. I don't know how the heck that you got through that because I was like just cringing. The guy is literally insane. And
I went into that podcast hoping, and this was with Vegan Gains, hey, maybe I can get some information across. Maybe I can educate some people. It ended up just being like he wanted to be right.
Insane.
We believe some sort of ethereal demon is out to get me. But
hold on, am I losing my mind? When we're all done on this planet and you guys are burning in hell, I'm going to be the person holding the f***ing whip.
Insane.
I'm done. If a fucking three-titted, blue-skinned alien girl comes down tonight and tries to have sex with me, I'm going to throw her through the fucking brick wall. If my fucking lawyer doesn't do anything, I'm going to... I swear to fucking God. I swear to fucking God. Holy fuck. This shit happens every week. No, I'm going to literally...
I got to get out of this before I end up in jail or something.
Horrible, dangerous technique and uses very little weight.
That's just weird.
Insane.
My brain's too big.
Regardless of how the debate went, regardless of how he framed it, people are going to see me and their opinion's going to change.
Yeah, they're going to observe the sanity there and like they're going to ignore the other guy.
These people are liars. They're liars, they're liars, they're liars. They will lie and deceive. They usually get away with it.
Pay attention, people.
Just getting like a really like distorted picture of what's going on after the fact. He's less to blame. He's still like blameworthy here, but he's less to blame than Shawn. If Joe is interested, he can ask all the clarifying questions he wants. He's not interested in asking clarifying questions so far as I can tell because I've heard nothing from him. He's just content to take the piss out of me on the largest fucking media platform in the history of humanity and just leave it at that, which I find to be a very scummy thing to do, right?
Scummy? Yes. But it's also funny because it is the largest platform in the history of the world. And this is what's going on. And it's kind of fitting because, in the news, you have this ongoing story about something that's really scummy and unacceptable. You got these people that are still free, not locked up yet, who are a threat to the United States. So it's fitting.
It just utterly defames somebody and like on what is the largest fucking media platform in the history of humanity, and then just leave it at that. That is like really unacceptable behavior. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
He said he won the debate because I said I probably wouldn't eat a Homo erectus.
That's also a mischaracterization. I got him. Holy fuck, this is stupid. I asked him to name the traits that he chose was being human. So I said, okay, if we had an instantiation of a being that wasn't a human, but was in every other way, like a human, but without the things that make a human on his definition, which it was like a cluster of genetics. So like, let's say that there was a being out there that was in every way like a human, except it didn't have like this cluster of genetics that place it within the distribution of beings known as Homo sapiens sapiens. It was placed outside of that distribution, but in every other way it was like a human. And he said, oh, you mean like Homo erectus? And to me, that was close enough. Right? That was close enough because it's technically not a human, or at least he signed off on it not being a human. So at least from an analytic standpoint, like we're both agreeing that the creature being referred to is not a human. Like factory farming these Homo erectus. And he said no, which leads to a logical contradiction, right? So when you get your opponent to affirm a logical contradiction, that is winning the debate. You have won. You
won a point. But Baker's trait that he named disqualifies him right away. It's because it's bullshit. Being human, that's just human arrogance. It's not really a trait. It's just bigotry, human bigotry. Joe Rogan doesn't seem like he's an anti-vegan or that he's disingenuous. That's what I'm getting at. But what the fuck? He's got the biggest platform in the world. He's promoting meat. Come on. It's hurting people's health. It's hurting animals. Mass abuse. He has to know about this. He hunts, so he avoids all that. But not everyone's going to hunt. They're just going to go to the store and buy more meat. That also hurts the environment, which hurts us all. He's a well-informed person because of his platform. He interviews all sorts of people. He has to know these things. So what is going on in his head? Baker's trait that he named, being human, that's just human arrogance. When Americans were enslaving black people, using them as slaves, they justified this by saying those black people weren't human. Because look, they don't look like us. It's just ridiculous. Humans should understand this by now and have moved on from it, but we have these people lingering around who still think this way. They're dumb and they have sociopathic personality. This kind of stuff should be weeded out because this is the problem with the world. Well, looks like Nick just summed up what I was saying.
You have effectively dismantled your opponent's position because they have no position. Affirming all propositions and their negations.
It's a fake position. Saying, well, I'm human. Well, fuck you, Shawn Baker. You're as arrogant as you look. I checked out his channel, and there isn't even a video tab. And that's, I think, because he has removed all his videos. Home tab has almost nothing but the video that's playing now. Live is the same thing. He may have just privatized them, but so I guess they're still up, but you gotta pay for the videos. Why don't they show on the main page?
I just got a glimpse of like, holy shit, if I actually become like a big platform, I'm not into what's like coming out the other end there. Like I'm not into what I'm in for in that regard. So I I just decided, like, okay, like, this isn't the career path for me because I really don't want to deal with that horse shit. I'd rather be more low key and private.
It just occurred to me, what's going on here with the Joe Rogan podcast is an unusual circumstance, and life wouldn't be that way for him if he was ever more popular. And I think you could make it work out, and I'd be perfectly willing to do that. So if anybody can make that happen out there...
I don't want the world thinking that I'm fucking crazy when I'm not, right? These are views that I've had for a long time before the debate, but they're misrepresenting them, right? They're like way more nuanced than I actually unpacked in the debate, because the debate wasn't about my views. The debate wasn't about those views in particular. So I said them because Shawn asked me a question. I shouldn't have responded because it was entertaining a tangent, but sometimes I entertain tangents.
Well, it's good that Nick took responsibility and accountability for his mistake. So I'd say all three of them share responsibility. I want to end with this. Here, Nick has a chance to become more popular and spread his information to more people. Why wouldn't he take that? And remember what he said at the beginning of this video. Social media seems to act like a funnel where the worst people get down into the funnel and become popular. I've been saying that for years, and Nick is sort of an example. Well, he's got some talents. He's basically not too helpful in getting people to go vegan, but here I am, and I've been sitting here making videos for 10 years, waiting for my chance at fame. It looks like I'll never get it, and I've deduced that the fundamental reason why I just will not get attention on social media is because I'm not a crappy person. I'm not extreme. I'm not crazy. I'm not an ass. And so people like Joe Rogan and Shawn Baker have no interest in talking about me. I'd rather talk about the crazy people, of which they are too. That is the end of my video. If you want to see me continue on and get more VYC news like this, subscribe and turn the notifications on.